It really was a tense weekend. An actual war in Europe, the threat of a war in the Indo-Pacific, and a deadly flare-up in West Asia. Israel and Gaza came very close to another full-blown war. They exchanged fire for 3 days. They flattened buildings. They killed innocent civilians. But now there is a fragile ceasefire in place. How exactly did things escalate so fast? The first shot was fired by Israel on Friday. They claim it was preemptive. Terror groups were plotting attacks on Israel, so they acted first. And who did they target? Taysir al-Jabari. He's a senior commander of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Now, some quick background. The PIJ, or the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, was founded in 1981. It was one of the two major militant groups operating, it is rather one of the two major militant groups operating in Gaza. The other is Hamas. Their ideology, very similar to most Palestinian militant groups. They deny the existence of Israel. Their goal is to create an Islamic Palestinian state in West Asia. And who funds them? Iran. The Islamic Jihad gets most of their weapons and money from Iran. In fact, their top leader was in Tehran on Saturday. He was meeting President Ibrahim Raisi when Israeli rockets pounded Gaza. Were they on target? Well, some of them were. The PIJ commander was killed in the airstrike, but some of the projectiles also hit civilian buildings. At least 10 people were killed. Among them was a 5-year-old child.
Good day, everyone. 45 days. 45 days to Feast of Trumpets, a feast where we can know Jesus will return for his bride and where the sixth seal will begin. Revelation 6:12 to 17. That's the sixth seal will take place on Feast of Trumpets. The pole shift and everything else will take place on this. But just before, just after the rapture, we will be taken out in a twinkling of an eye. I said just after, not after the earthquake. There will be an earthquake. We will be taken out of the way. That's right. Before the worst begins. We will see the sun turn into darkness. We will see this planet coming over the earth. And Jesus warned us not to be fearful about it. Yes, man's hearts will fail him for fear for what is coming upon the earth. But we do not need to fear. Pray for your safety during this earthquake. 45, as I said, 45 days before Feast of Trumpets. The 45 is very significant. You also see there in that video clip, 44 people died. How significant 44 people? You will also see in a minute that Rabbi AMRAM Vaknin made a statement concerning the 44, and I'll show that to you. It's concerning the blood moon. Hold on to your seat. That's very important. And what he had to say about 44 and 45. Okay? War in Israel before the rapture, and thousands will be killed. Well, he does not say before the rapture. That is my inclination, because I feel that is what's going to happen just before or just after the rapture. But I feel we're going to see it. There's already a war starting in Gaza, and you also see who is responsible for that. So here is the Vaknin, Rabbi AMRAM Vaknin. Here's a picture of him and how it like. At this time he was 19. This was of course in 2015 on 12th of June. He was in a cave of Elijah the prophet, and suddenly he fell down and he in the mud of the cave, and he began to see visions in that, and people heard what he was saying and recorded what he was saying in the vision. On the morning of Tuesday, June 9, Israel, Rabbi AMRAM Vaknin led a prayer service in the cave of Elijah the prophet, and this is in the Bible, by the way, in Hafia, Israel, along with approximately 30 Jews and 30 Jewish women to pray for the welfare of Israel. So you see, he is a praying man. The devil would not tell him this vision. The Jews do pray to God the Father, Abba Father, that is to whom they pray. But of course they reject Jesus Christ as their Savior, as their Messiah. Of course, that's the difference there. Jill Nachman, an aide to Rabbi, and eyewitnesses told breaking news that approximately 11:30 a.m. Rabbi Vaknin suddenly fell to the ground into the mud and water on the floor of the cave. And there is a picture of him as he was laid down on the floor. And there was also water there, and this was a picture of him there, you can see. And he said, in this world, Rabbi Vaknin was lying on the floor, but what happened in that cave, according to Nachman, was above this world. The rabbi received a message for the Jewish people from Eliyahu, haNavi, that of course is Elijah the prophet, that there is a decree from heaven that war will be starting in the south of Israel, will move to the north of Israel, and will continue inside of Israel in Jerusalem itself, and thousands of people will die. God forbid. Now this war did not take place as yet, people. It did not take place at all. Besides war on Gaza that also happened around 2015-16. And a lot of people that died, but it was not thousands of people that he was talking about. And this is thousands of Israelites that will die. This is what he said. And they were praying since then. They've always been praying about this, but this is a prophetic word, and I believe this word is for now, and that is why I am sharing it. He also shared something to that effect that just blew, and I actually know about Rabbi Vaknin since 2015 already, when I shared about the blood moon concerning that. There he gave another warning concerning that. Let me take you to that. And this is the blood moon, the 44th blood moon. God created the sun, the moon, and stars for signs. And that blood moon happened to be just for 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 44 seconds. Yes. And that was 44, the 44 moon. It's called the 44 moon. And I shared, it was first told my own story here. Then later I found more information that, and I shared it. This is of course 7 years ago from Breaking News Israel. Okay, let me go to that breaking news. We can see actually better there. I have the picture here. Yeah. Rabbi living in southern Israel is urging all Jews to pray and repent as the third blood moon of a tetrad cycle approaches. Now, Rabbi Vaknin, who similarly predicted the events of the Gaza flotilla and the Carmen forest fire, he actually is correct in his declaration concerning the words that he received, and the Operation Pillar of Defense 2012. And also Protective Edge 2014. He warns that Israel is facing great judgment and potential danger at this time. One of the rabbi's students, Jill Nachman, spoke to Israel News, and quoting the sage, explaining that the numeric value of the Hebrew word for blood is dam. For blood is dam, which is 44. Blood moon, and that, what is named dam, is 44. And this alludes to the 44th President of the United States. And as well, we all could see it. I did say that it does allude to Barack Obama. I did say that, and it was down here on the 44th blood moon. Obama is the 44th president at that time. So that is correct, and that I also added, and this rabbi as well. And he says it alludes to the 44th president of the United States. And he states there, Vaknin predicted that the 44th president would bring bloodshed, dam, to the Jewish people. And I tell you people, that is going to happen. That is going to happen. And you all remember the young boy, he was 15, also in 2015, by the way. At the same time that boy died, he died, that boy did, that was on the last blood moon that he died, and he went to heaven, and he came also back with a message that Barack Obama is Gog. Not Russia, not Russia. Satan is Gog, people. You can read Revelation 20, from 13 onwards, and yet you will see that Satan will be locked up for 1,000 years, and towards the end he will be set free again, and he is Gog, and he will gather the nations, Magog, against God. And this is the same thing. Gog is Satan's son, which is Barack Obama, and that is the 44th president. And he will come around to April 2026, and he will conquer, and he will defeat the nation of the army of the National Defense Force of Israel in 2 days, people, in 2 days. Yes. And that is what he actually said. But listen further to this. Now, Vaknin believes that only 44 plus 1, 45 can counter the danger represented by the blood moons. 44, 45 people is Adam's number. Jesus said in his word, use wisdom, count the number of the beast, because it's not the beast's number. 666 is the number for Adam, fallen man. That was Adam's number because of the fall, because he fell into sin, and that represent fallen man. So if you count up the number of Adam in Hebrew, it comes to 45. And he said this, his own words, this, he says, is Adam. 45 is Adam, or man, which in this case refers to Messiah, the Messiah. And you know, although who will be the Messiah, number 45, Donald Trump is the Jewish Messiah, people. I think that is all that I want to say thus far, but war is coming to Israel. What's Israel? Israel is the time clock, people. Israel is the time clock. Not Russia, not Magog, he's not Gog at all. Israel is the time clock. Not Taiwan, as people will say. Israel is the time clock. So what's Israel? What's happening there? And when you see this war, now that will be probably one of the final signs. And he said it will start in the south, probably around about in Gaza. And we all heard in that news clip who the guilty partner is. It is none other than Iran. And let me share that video for you. Donald Trump will lead Israel into war against Iran just after the rapture as their Messiah and the King. One of the battles that the Jewish Messiah have to fight is to destroy the enemies of Iran. That is another test that he needs to pass. They also then believe that he will die in action. That is what the rabbis do believe, and that he will die in action, and he will be raised from the dead. Of course, we all do know that Satan cannot raise anybody from the dead, so that will be probably a dummy of, what's his name, a clone of Donald Trump that will be killed, and then he will appear afterwards. But as we all know, that Jews will be deceived. Jesus said, the Father sent me, but you rejected me, but you will receive another person, another in his own name. And the Jews thus far did receive Donald Trump as their Messiah, and he had to pass all the tests. And also what you are seeing at the present moment is house has been raided. That all is just part of Donald Trump as a suffering servant, Yeah, Trump is a Jewish Messiah, and he must suffer. He must suffer. That's called Ben Joseph. And all what you see about this whole scenario is staged to that the Jews may see and the world may see that he is suffering. There is nothing, there's no love lost between the Democrats and the Republicans people. They're all working together to bring in the two false messiahs, which is the two beasts of Revelation 13. The first beast and the second beast. Second beast is rule first. The second beast, he is the seventh king. He will rule first in the European Union. So that's enough said, people. Please share this video, subscribe, and please communicate. Love you all.